Hi guys, and welcome to the first of my Guild Ball Tactics reviews. Today I'm going to be looking at Katalyst from the Alchemists team. To give you some background on these reviews, basically this is a way for me to attempt to get my head around how these guys play, what their tactics are, how they work together. I'm starting with the Alchemists because that's my team. So what I'm going to do to begin with is work my way through, first of all, each individual player, and then I'll look at combining them into a working team. So we're going to start with Katalyst, purely because he's the first model that I painted up, so I can actually include some photos of him in this video, as well as me talking over the top of some of the pages from the book. So I thought we'd start off just by me reading through his entry in the Guild Ball book, just to give you some of his background, and then I'll go through his stats on the card. So, Katalyst, Fallen Prometheus. Not all alchemy is concerned with conversion of inorganic materials. For some scientists, the pursuit of extending mankind's years and to emerging victorious against ravages of time is a much nobler study. One such alchemist is known to others as Katalyst. On the pitches upon which Guild Ball is played, the hulking Katalyst stalks the opposition, limbs in a perpetual state of paroxysm, snorting great deep breaths through his restrictive mask. The cylindrical generator strapped to his back whines and churns as chemicals rush through the heavy piping connecting the apparatus to the barbaric-looking sockets set into his skin. Needles on dials whirl manically from number to number, in and out of the painted red sections, muscles on the man twitching accordingly. Behind the mask, Katalyst wears a rictus face, locked between a hideous maniacal grin and the grimace of a person in sheer agony. His teeth crack as he gnashes them together. Spittle runs along the underside of his chin, collecting in rivulets that trail onto his immense chest. Sporadically and uncontrollably, there is emitted a titanic bellow. Half terrifying roar, half strangled sob. Katalyst is feral and powerful, like some primordial creature of legend come to life to dominate and maim, to break men across his knee. But the same compound that has sustained his growth into the towering wall of muscle and that feeds his raw brutality is also killing Katalyst. Over time, he is aware that it will simply liquefy his organs. After each game, he staggers from the field to collapse, crawl into the fetal position, and await the inevitable shuddering torment of withdrawal from his elixir. Ironically, Katalyst has seen a glimpse that he is desperately close to the secret of life eternal in his laboratory. A more collected individual might devote himself entirely to research in the hope that the formula could be perfected in his lifetime. But then Katalyst has never been known for his patience. He will achieve the greatness he yearns for however he can, destroying his body as his mind searches for his answers. Only time will tell whether he retires a legend, the man that discovered the secret of eternal life, or dies an dignified victim to his own reckless folly. So in case you hadn't picked up on it from that description and also by the way he looks in game, this guy is essentially Bane from Batman. If we take a look at his stat card, which I am just double checking, and it is the same in the book as it is on his actual card. So if we take a look at his card, obviously he's on a 40mm base. This is the big guy. He's got a 1-inch melee range. His movement is 5-8 inches, 6 attacks. He can kick up to 6 inches and has 2 attempts to do that. 2+ defense, no armor, and he generates 2 influence and can have up to 3. Then if we look at his traits, this is when it starts to get interesting. Elemental Infusion. If this model makes an attack against an enemy model that is suffering from one or more of the following conditions, the following cumulative benefits apply to the attack against the model. If the model is suffering from poison, he gets +2 attacks. if the model is suffering from bleed, it suffers -1 armour, and if the model is suffering from burning, then he gets +1 damage to the playbook damage result. Now why that gets interesting is because within the Alchemists team, you have quite readily the ability to put poison and burning on models. So you can quite easily get +2 attacks or +1 damage to the playbook. Bleed's more difficult. There isn't a Alchemist player that can get bleed, but obviously you could get it by bringing in a Union player, or, and we'll go into this in more detail when I do a tactical review for the team captain Midas, Midas could copy a character play from your opposition player and that way get the ability to inflict bleed. So if we look at his character plays, we've got Intensify, which costs 2, or you can get through a Guild Ball, which is a 3-inch pulse, and enemy models that are suffering from conditions and are within the pulse suffer an additional 2 damage. And his other one is Rabid Animal. So 2 Guild Balls, personal range, and it's sustained to the end of the turn, so the target enemy models suffer -4 movement and the poison condition. Now with that one, hopefully you're already looking and thinking, well, I can then add the poison condition, which will then give me an extra 2 attacks. So that's on a double Guild Ball. A double Guild Ball is 3 hits for Katalyst. A single Guild Ball is only 2 hits. So if we look at his plays, one successful hit, he can do 1 damage. 2 successful hits, he's got a choice of either a tackle. 2 hits for tackle, it's not bad. Or Guild Ball, as we've just said, which also gets you a momentum. 3, he can either do 2 damage, or the double Guild Ball. For 4, he can either do a knockdown, or he can push you and dodge, which again he gains a momentum for. For 5, he can do 3 damage, or for 6, he can do 3 damage and push you away 2 inches. Now, looking at that, 3 damage isn't a particularly large amount of damage for a big guy in a team. But obviously, if you've got burning on, you're actually doing 4, which, it's getting somewhere. But I think with Katalyst, what you're doing is you're looking more at getting the synergies that come in with getting him in onto models that have conditions on them. So the most obvious one is to get him in on a poison, because you'll get +2 attacks, or charge him into a model attack, get you 3 hits, so you get your double Guild Ball for your Rabid Animal. This then puts the poison condition on him and also knocks the movement down, which then allows you to do an additional 2 attacks. So you can put 3 influence in on him. So you could conceivably charge him 8 inches into a model, do your attacks, get your double Guild Ball to put poison on him, and then get another 8 attacks on an additional attack. The other thing to note with the Rabid Animal, and again, when I go through some of the other models in the Alchemist, and when I discuss the Alchemist, well, what I think is the Alchemist Playstyle, you'll see is important is it's got the movement penalty. To my mind, the Alchemists are all about stopping you from moving and then running around you. So you can charge this guy into either a fast striker and nobble their movement. You'd stand a reasonable chance of getting the ball, but you might even just want to drop the movement down. Obviously this is before they've gone. And then the other thing you could think about doing is charging into a enemy model that you don't want charging into one of your own models, because by the time you've dropped off 4 inches off your movement, most things in the game would be lucky to be able to move 4 inches, which means that you can run past a particularly hitty model by only being 4.5 inches away from it by using Katalyst. In terms of hit points, he's got 27, not bad. The 0 armour with the 2+ defence means he does take a lot of damage quickly. But I think, as we'll discuss again when we see the tactics of the rest of the team, because there's so much opportunity to nobble your opponent's movement, you should be able to protect him reasonably well. I mean, to give you an example, one of my standard opponents is a Butcher's player, and he uses Boar. But Boar's only got a 4-inch move, so by dropping 4 inches off Boar's move, he can sprint or charge 2 inches. So this means you can essentially park models pretty much right next to what is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best attacking player in the game, and he can't do anything about it. And that's huge, and that's the Alchemist Playstyle. It's that I'll stop you from moving and then I'll run around you. So as I say, as I go through and I paint up all the models in the team, I'll be doing individual reviews like this on all the models. And then I'll come back once I've got the entire team painted, and I'll do a review of the team as a whole. Also, as I'm intending on playing quite a few games between now and me getting the team painted, I'll have a lot more idea of how this team works. I'll be able to give you a lot more insight into the team. And then after that, if these videos prove to be popular, I'll start going through the other teams and see if we can build up a complete set of tactics for each and every Guild Ball player and each and every Guild Ball team. So if you like these, please be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and also if you let me know in the comment below what you think of it, and also if you've got any other insights into Katalyst or the Alchemists in general, something that I may have missed, because with this being a new game, we're all in the really good position of nobody's really the expert in this. We're all learning at the same time. So if you've got an insight that I don't, I'd love to hear from it. And hopefully I've given you some insights of my own to go with what you already know. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.